The January PTR is now live, and I was able to get on it yesterday and look at everything and test things out and all that. So this particular video is about the market and what could change, and is there anything you could buy, anything you could sell, you know, that type of thing. Now, normally, if there's anything crazy, I would make a video saying, go buy this now, go buy, or, you know, something like that. But in this case, for this PTR cycle, I don't see anything totally crazy. Although some people think they do, and I want to talk about some of that and what I think about it. But first, I'm going to start with motes. So in order to make the energy cores, the elemental hearts, and whatever, all those things, instead of using 50 motes each, they use 30 motes each, which is not very significant. That's not significant at all. So motes are probably untouched. If you've heard anyone saying that you need to get rid of motes now, I personally am not a believer. Honestly, the orbs are not a very big usage of motes. The biggest usage of motes is making quintessences or making essence or making all this other stuff from those byproducts. That's the biggest use of motes. You may see certain ones go down because of it, because maybe they don't have as much use as some of the other ones and different things people make and stuff. But I don't see it getting super touched when it's just a 50 to a 30. That's not going to be that impactful. Also, not that many orbs get made. I mean, I'm on a high pop server, maybe like for the basic orbs, maybe like a few hundred a day or something. But a lot more than that gets processed per day from all the activities in this game. So I'm personally, I mean, even just cutting gemstones, like, you know, I'm personally not a believer that that's going to change very much. So that's what to expect with the motes, at least. I'm not seeing it personally. Now, the next one that I'm going to talk about is the one that's blown up like crazy, which is if you go to raw resources, raw gemstones, all the garbage pristines are now worth an insane amount. And I honestly don't agree with this about at all, especially not at 80. So what's happening with this one is, in order to make the mutated orb that you use to get into mutator dungeons or whatever like that, it uses 3 powerful gemstone dust. And 3 powerful gemstone dust takes 10 powerful, I don't know why I said 3. Takes 10 powerful gemstone dust. And that takes 30 pristine gems. So people go, oh, okay, we're going to need to buy pristine gems. So these are obviously going to go up, right? But I'm not really a believer in that, and here's why. You can only make 1 mutator orb per week. 1 per week from the crafting table, and you can circumvent that by instead buying it with 10,000 faction points. That's how it is right now in the PTR. Now, that's subject to change. But, and we're still trying to hash out the details of how it works. Like, you might only need 1 per week, because I'm not exactly sure, but I think you use the mutator orb, and then it unlocks the mutator for that week, so you don't need any more mutator orbs. You only need 1 a week. I'm still trying to hash out those details before I make an official, here's how everything works, the mutators video. So today I'm going to be doing a live stream, which is not relevant if you're watching this video after today, but I'm going to be checking that out more and then making that video later. So make sure to be subscribed for that. But anyway, I'm not a believer in this. I'm just straight up not a believer in this, at least not at these prices. I do see it making sense that they're not, like, I was able to go in here and buy these for 10 coins before this. And now they should probably be more than that, at least, because there is an increase in demand. But if you're thinking about buying these up to 60, I am not a believer, because not that many are going to be used. If you can only make 1 per week, that's 30 of these per week. Okay, how many players are going to make those? Let's say 1,000 players make those in a week. So that's going to be 3,000 of these pristine gems a week. Yes, that will definitely increase the price. But will it increase it to 80? I'm not a believer, honestly, because of all the people mining. The supply that comes in a week, I'm not a believer. Like, I was sitting here buying these with buy orders occasionally just to burn them for fun. And if I would have been competitive with the other guys who were buying the buy orders, if I was the only guy with buy orders, I easily could have picked up, like, a few thousand, probably 1,000 of these a week, 1 to 2,000 of these a week at 10 coins a piece. And that's just for the people who are willing to sell to the buy orders. Like, so the supply does exist to supply the economy, assuming that, I mean, I just don't see it with the faction shop option. We're going to see the details. If you can just buy the faction shop one and have literally no reason to craft the other one, then I just don't, this is just not going to happen. There might be, if it does open it and hold it open, though, for the rest of the week, you might run into a situation where it makes sense to craft it. And I see why. Because you've bought the faction one, but you bought it halfway through the week. Now you have to wait a week before you can buy another faction one, but the mutator one starts, and you started halfway through the cycle, but you want to start on day 1 next time. Well, now you got to craft one. So the crafting might just be the backup option. So will 1,000 people a week craft them? Possibly, just to collect them, but probably not. I mean, it's going to basically be everyone can get one. We'll have to see, though. I haven't hammered down those details. What I'm saying could be totally false. But when I looked at, that's what everyone kept saying in the live stream and stuff I did. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But even if people were making them, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not a believer at 80. If you're sitting here going, oh my God, buy pristine gems, you see them at 80 and you're buying them at 80, it's my personal belief you will lose some hardcore money at 80. I just am not seeing that. No chance in hell. Also, you have to remember, this time we probably have 2 to 3 weeks before this goes live. They said they want to do longer PTR cycles. So this PTR cycle probably will run for 3 weeks before we see this go live. So if you're buying at 80 right now, you have 3 weeks for supply to catch up to and these to come down and you to buy more. So no chance. Where would be a safe spot to buy, in my opinion? Not 97. Holy heck. Let me look at some of these. Got 30. I don't know. If you can get them for less than 20, I guess you can risk it. I would never go higher than 30 on this. And if you see people selling them for 100, I personally would just sell to them. Like, it's actually insane. I just can't. I'm not a believer at 100 coins. There's no chance. Even the buy orders are still just at like 14. The buy orders are untouched. So, yeah, that's the big one that people have been talking about. And again, that's my opinion on it. Buy to like 20, maybe buy to 30. But I would, buying at 100 is just suicide on your wallet. That is insane. I have no belief in that at all. Now, I'm willing to eat my words. I've been wrong on some things in the past, but I'm usually right on like 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5 things or so. I don't know. I'm not a believer at 100. I can't say it enough, guys. I'm not a believer at 100. But another one to keep an eye on for the same reason would be runestones and the ingredients to make the runestones, because the mutator orb uses 10 runestones, but it's only once a week again. But it will increase the demand for runestones a little, maybe. I'll have to look at the details, though. When we use a mutator orb, do we still need to use the normal orb over and over and over again? Probably. I think so. I'll have to see, though. But, and also, if that is the case, there's going to be an increased demand for all orbs and all, dungeon runs in general. So, maybe we'll see Runestone go up some. But that doesn't mean go buy it to 5 million coins. There's just nothing. That's what I'm trying to, this is the point I'm trying to make here on this PTR cycle, guys. There's really nothing totally insane on this PTR cycle. I went to all the crafting stations. I looked at everything. Honestly, the only thing I haven't looked at, and I haven't had time to look at yet, is manually gathering a bunch of different resources. Like, if there was a stealth nerf to some random thing, like maybe ironwood trees only drop 1 ironwood now, or some ridiculous thing, okay? Those are the only things I haven't looked for, is the gathering element of the whole factor. But they based on what they said, they're basically not focused on any of those elements of the game on this cycle. So I would say it's very unlikely that there's any kind of change like that. And if there was, it was probably unintended or something. So, yeah. But wait, there is one more thing to look at in this. So there's one thing I'm suspicious of. That would be Asmodium, Runic Leather, and Phoenix Weave. And the reason I'm suspicious of these going up in price is because, okay, so there's a few catches with this. Will it go up? Will it go down? This is another one of those. That's why there's nothing crazy, because even this one, there's multiple factors tugging in both directions. But here's the situation. So you guys can decide what to do on this, whether to buy it or whether to sell it. It's up to you guys. Do whatever you think is right. I'm going to give you the information on what's changing. So the gear score nerf is happening. And right now, so before this patch, if I go into armor and I go to 600 gear score armor, if I buy this, and even though my expertise is not 600, I just have 600 gear score, right? So because of that, there's this huge market of people making gear, and if it's not what they want, they just sell it for 1,000, 500, 20,000, 10,000, depending on how good it is. And that's just a normal thing in this game. But after the January patch goes through, if you have, in my case, I literally been one of the laziest players in this entire game, and my average expertise is 519. Okay? I just buy my gear and I craft my gear, because that's just the way I play the game. So someone like me, I get grandfathered in with the stuff I already have, but if I buy it from someone else after the patch, it will instead say this is 594, and my average expertise is, well, for the chest piece, it's 529, okay? You take what's the middle between that. So you add those two numbers together, divide by 2, you get like, what, like 565 or something like that? So if I put this on, it's not going to be 594. It's going to be 560-something gear score until I get my expertise up. So then the argument people have is, well, that means that nobody's going to craft and the price of Asmodeum is going to crash into the ground, is what some people were saying. And I'm not so sure, because there's another factor pulling in the opposite direction. So first off, on all of this, I still think this market will exist, and here's why. Because say I'm at expertise 520, then I'm not just going to say, okay, I'll just have 520 gear then. I'm still going to go buy 600 gear score stuff, because it's going to bring me up from 520 to 560. Like, why would I not buy it? And I know that as I get my expertise up, I can grow into it too. So I don't see why I wouldn't be buying it. You know, you still want to upgrade yourself. It's not, you're not just going to go, I'm 500 expertise, I guess I'll just be 500, when I could just buy gear and be 550. So it'll still sell. The demand will probably just decrease some, but I don't see the demand decreasing dramatically because of it. It doesn't make it. I just don't see why you would not buy it. You still want to get better. Just because you're going to get less better doesn't mean that you're not going to buy it. Now, maybe it'll bring the prices down some, yeah, but the demand will still exist in some way, shape, or form. But then, like I said, I just alluded to a minute ago, there's another factor. So they're adding the 625 gear score weapons. And in order to get those, you have to use umbral shards, which you get from mutators. But there's another way to get them. So the other way you can get them is as a crafter. So when you make this 600 gear score stuff, every time that you craft a piece of art or any, is it just, I don't know if it's just weapons or armor, whatever it is though, or both. I don't know. I don't think they alluded to. I'll have to test on the PTR next time I do it. Next time which will be today probably. But every time that you pop out a actual 600 piece, which is with the best trophies and everything, a 1 in 5 chance, okay? Every time you bang out one of these things, it'll give you umbral shards, which then you can use to level up your stuff to 625. Umbral shards upgrade your gear. So you have one you already like, and then you use it on it to bring it to 625, which also ups your expertise, which then I assume means you can find random drops above 600 in the mutators. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, you upgrade your gear with umbral shards. So you know anyone who... Here, let me show you something. This is the tax statement for Windsward on a high pop server. This is how much money they stole from other players in this pay period in 1 week. Or last pay period. Do you think these guys are going to run mutators until their 625 gear score? Hell no, they're not. They're going to buy all the Asmodeum, all the runic leather, and all the phoenix weave on the market. They're going to bang out 600 gear score stuff and get 625 gear score on day one. If there is any kind of time gating on the dungeons, so whereas like say it's, oh, okay, you unlock the mutator, but you still got to use a Genesis Lazarus orb every time. Got them. If they're going to do that, anyone with money is just going to craft 600 gear score stuff and get it faster. They're not going to sit there and go, oh, I guess I'm time gated. I guess I'm just going to wait 2 months to get 625 on all my stuff. No, they're going to go, I'm just going to craft stuff to get the Umbral Shards then. And because I can, and unless, now maybe they'll put a cap on the Umbral Shards you can get from crafting. Maybe they'll make it a once a day thing. I have a feeling they will. Right now, like once this becomes, people become aware this is how it's going to go, they'll probably change it one way or the other. They'll either make it so we can get into the dungeon as many times as we want, or they're going to make it so when you craft stuff, you can only get Umbral Shards once per day. If they don't, that's going to be the dumbest, stupidest thing ever. It's just going to go, oh, you have money? I guess you just buy your way to 625. Haha. Like, it's just ridiculous. So that is why I think Asmodium and those things, and orichalcum ingots and ironwood planks, infused silk, infused leather, we'll probably see in the short term, we're going to see a price bump on those because of people who are super rich like this wanting to just get it done faster, and they're just going to buy mats and they're going to craft legendary stuff. They'll sell whatever comes out good, they'll just sell it. If it doesn't come out good, then they'll just throw it away basically because they have infinite money every week, and they'll get their 625 gear score and they'll be that much harder to take Windsword from. And that's going to happen. So those are usually the people whenever you go in there and you see like, oh, fire motes are 4 a piece or something. That's either from people buy from gold sellers, or it's people like this who have so much money that they don't even know what to do with it, and they just don't even care. And I'm just gonna buy fire motes to 5 a piece, and I just want them right now, and I don't want to wait. So that is the other factor weighing into what's gonna happen. So I'll leave it up to you guys on what to decide to do on this. I'm just trying to give you the accurate information on all the factors going into this. So those are the big changes. Like, should you buy Asmodium? Should you buy these things? Should you sell these things? It is really going to be hard to say. My opinion on this, I'm going to give my final conclusions on every single one of these things. So the pristine gems, yeah, we'll see them go up in price. Same for the powerful gemstone dust. How much they'll go up in price? Hell if I know, not very much. I personally don't believe it's going to go to 100. I think 100 is absolute insanity. I think there's no chance in hell, personally, is what I think. But maybe there's a deficit of pristine gems. Maybe like not enough pristine gems get generated, and after it's been out for a month, they'll be like 400 coins a piece. Maybe. But I just think between bots and actual players farming, because it is possible to get pristine gems even from iron. So that's probably where the biggest bulk of them come from, is the bots. Although there's a factor to think about. If they ever get rid of bots, well, that's going to be a whole new can of worms. If they ever actually do something that actually gets rid of bots, I mean, there's going to be so many other things for me to talk about. That's going to be nothing. I'm going to be like, okay, look at this one. Well, this one sell these things now, buy them back later. I mean, there's going to be so much to do if they ever get rid of bots. But bots alone probably generate like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 plus pristine gems a week, I would guess, on a high pop server. I don't know. If you're on a low pop server, also the demand of pristine gems is going to be so low because there's so many less players compared to the bots. So I'm just not a believer at 100 personally. Now I'm willing to eat my word. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they should be worth 10,000 coins. I don't know. But I don't know. I just don't see it at 100. As for runestones, obsidian void stones, and all that, I'll have to get down to the nitty gritty later about how the mutators work and do you need the keys every single time and all that. If you do, then yeah, they're gonna go up. If they make it so you use a mutator orb and then you don't need Genesis or Lazarus or shipyard keys, then I think the price will actually fall, because why would you just unlock a mutator and use it? I don't know how they're, and also we don't know how they're done, how they're gonna have it when they're done with it. They have 3 weeks to design it, so they may make it one way or the other. So you'll have to subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for that. Anyway, and then the last one is the Asmodium and all that stuff. There's factors pulling in both directions. I personally think in the short term it'll actually go up, the demand for all this stuff, mainly because of rich mofos who have everything in the world from stealing money through taxes, and they will just buy whatever they want, and they'll just nuke the market to get it done fast. Once they have burned through the market and they're done, which will be like a few weeks or something, then it'll slowly start coming down over time, I assume, to a stable point. Now, whether or not that's true, who knows? That's my guess. That's my opinion as someone who plays with the market for 4 months and doesn't even get their expertise up because all they do is trading and crafting and gathering. Now, again, I could be wrong on any of these things, but that's my opinion. If you came to me and asked for my opinion, that's my opinion. That's why I have these opinions. I just want you guys to know my opinion why I have it, the information I have, and what I think about it. Now, you guys go out there the next 2 to 3 weeks and make whatever decisions you want to make with your wallet and your money, because in the end, it's your life. Whatever you guys think makes sense. I'm just here to advise. It's up to you guys to make your decisions. Also, if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing for more New World news and New World updates, New World guides and stuff, and other videos like this in the future. That's pretty much all I do right now on this YouTube. And also, if you want to follow me on other social platforms, in the description of this video, below the first paragraph, you'll be able to find my social links, which has my Discord, which I'm always active in. There is my Patreon, where I post insider trading tips, which are little small tricks and tips and stuff that help you make a lot of money. And then I have a Twitch, which is for when I stream games that are not New World. So if you want to watch me play something like Plague Tale or a Star Wars game or some random stuff, that's where I go to do that. But yeah, that's it for this video. Now you know what's going on with the PTR as far as trading changes, any changes in any markets and stuff. There's not a lot this cycle, but those are the ones that you can expect to see changing as the patch goes live later this month in New World.